Have you ever looked into the mirror and asked yourself, who is this person? Or you've been at a meeting and in the networking moment, somebody comes to you and asks, where are you from? And then you tell them and they go, no, where are you really from? So these questions and the more and more source of these questions that I have been asking in my life, and being born and raised in during the war and being on the verge of prosecution for kissing a girl and being a native in a non-native land, or the other way around, have encouraged me to ask questions about identity and belonging. What does it mean to belong? What is my identity? And some other questions like, how can you be a good mother and at the same time have a full-time job? Or how can I be in the Netherlands as a Dutchified person and still feel fully committed and feeling that I belong to my community? So these other questions have made me to delve deeper in the notion of identity and belonging, and that has brought me to the concept and notion of partnership. My name is Somaye Dehban, and part of the introduction I'm going to give you, you've already heard, but I'm going to add up to it. I'm a Dutchified Iranian, and I have rewired my life, my identity, my belonging to feel connected, to feel that I belong to my new communities. And I didn't do this rewiring just because I wanted to belong, but also because I have a dream. I have a dream to live in a world with personal freedom of choice, the ability for people, the equal opportunity for everyone, and the ability for people to thrive that is balanced with personal responsibility to contribute to the collective good. In order to make this dream a reality, I went on a journey about 10 years ago to find a model, to find something, that one thing that encompasses everything that I am and I do and I love. And in this process, I talked to many people from all different walks of lives, from politicians in exile to academics, from widows of war to poets in exile, to victims of rape, to many other people. Anyone whose path crossed with mine at some point. I also obsessively, and I emphasize on this term, obsessively read books, anything that had any link to identity, to belonging and partnership. And in this quest, I read over 400 books, and I ended up having 350 academic articles on my desk and read through. I read constitutions, policy papers, anything that I could get my hands on it. And in addition to the books and articles and interviewing hundreds of people, I also went to about 1,000 hours of psychoanalysis therapy to understand who I am. And that all manifested itself into a model that I have dubbed verbinding. Verbinding, as you heard, is the Dutch term for, just a pause, I think we are one slide ahead. Yes, welcome to verbinding. Verbinding is the Dutch term for interconnectedness, but it has also an emotional hint towards interrelatedness and interdependencies. It's about our connections that we have directly or indirectly, or at the conscious or subconscious level. In our fragmented societies where we have political disagreement on even minute issues, let alone the big ones like climate change, where there is always a discussion, a hot topic about just talking about the symptoms of the issues and not about the root causes. But also in the context that we are sort of uprooted from our roots. Our language is not necessarily the same as the language of our children or our parents, or our nationality does not necessarily match our ethnicity. And in this context, I believe the way to feel that we belong is to rewire our identities and define our identities in layered, in synergized, layered partnerships. When we define our identities in these synergized, layered partnerships, we can also answer questions and dilemmas such as, how can I be, as a mother, fully committed to the upbringing of my children and at the same time running my own business like a boss? Or how can I be an exiled Iranian activist and at the same time a fully devoted Dutch politician? With these questions and with these items in mind, we might want to look at what is partnership. Partnership is the state of being a partner. And you may ask, thank you, for what is a partner? A partner is someone that we are in a relationship through an activity. It's an active state of being. It's not passive like most of our relationship that we are in it. There is no specific activity. We are just connected with each other. And also, comparing to a relationship, most of our relationships are passive, but we are also in it because we are sort of born into it, or it's sort of decided for us. Whereas in partnership, it's a conscious choice. It's a free choice for us to be in that particular partnership. Like, I had no impact, no power over where I was born. So my connection to my country of birth is just a relationship. But what kind of a citizen I want to be, what kind of a partnership I want to develop with my neighbors is all my conscious and free choice. With this, I want to walk you through the 3 dimensions of partnership. And I want to start with the question that I asked at the beginning. When we look into the mirror, who are we? And that's the most important and hopefully most trusted partnership that we are in with ourselves. I believe that the necessary condition, the only and one necessary condition for us to achieve what we want to achieve in our lives is based on the partnership we develop with ourselves and how we nurture it. If we are mad at ourselves, it's because we haven't lived up to the agreement, the partnership we had set up for ourselves. If you can go back. If we are looking into the mirror and not recognizing the person who is in the mirror, is because the partnership with ourselves is lost. The second part of the partnership that I want to talk to you about is that, as you can imagine, we have more than one partnership in our lives. We are in a relation with our loved one, we are in a relation with our parents, we are in a relation with our children. But it's all up to us to move this passive relationship into an active one. If we come up with a proper agreement with our partner in the upbringing of our children, then we are moving into an active, conscious state of being with each other, and not just with our partner, but also with our children. A very important thing here is to remember is that when we are in one partnership, it doesn't mean that when that ends, then we can start another one. Our partnerships are not stacked up on each other. They are actually interwoven with each other. And it's very important that we, we can go to the next one as well, that we actually look at them from different angles. It's just a different perspective we need to take. And here is maybe I can give you an example from my other life as being a private chef. When I want to start a dish for a client, if we go and see the next one, and I put different ingredients on the kitchen table, and they look at it and they think, how on earth these are gonna go together? But when I bring the plates and place different ingredients with each other in the right manner and the right order, the sharpness of one brings out the flavors of the other. So the way we work with them is quite important. And that brings me to the third part, that our layered partnerships, if they are synergized with each other, that is the moment we are in our element. And the answer on how can we combine different partnerships with each other is synergy. Synergy is also the essence of the model that I have developed for Bindi, is all about, is all about valuing our differences to build up on the strength and compensate for the weaknesses. Synergy catalyzes, synergy unifies, and synergy unleashes the greatest power in people. The most important element here to remember is that people see the world not as it is, but as they are. And if we see this difference and if we value this difference, we can achieve unimaginables. The essence of synergy is to remember that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And when we start defining our identities in synergistic, layered partnerships, then we can achieve what we all are striving for. So we all are always in at least one partnership, and that's one is with ourselves. We all have multiple layered partnerships. And when we are synergized with our layered partnerships, we are collectively synergizing with our societies. By rewiring our identity into synergized, layered partnerships, we can lift up our societies where collectively as communities we are in synergized, layered partnerships with each other. As for my last slide, I put up what my university, Rotterdam School of Management, offers its all students at the beginning of the year to share with each other. And that's creating an I will statement. And my statement for this year is to build partnerships across sectors to create a balanced society. Thank you.
You figure the